and Harry accused of attempting to overshadow King Charles' important events. Hello, friends. Welcome to the King YouTube channel. At this point, the Duke and Duchess of Hypocrisy are just getting boring. I mean, they are so incredibly predictable. Just think about it. Every single time anybody else in the royal family, especially King Charles or Prince William, does something important, does something that gets good publicity, Meghan and Harry have to do something to try to distract us. Sometimes it's a photoshopped picture, sometimes it's a puff piece. But they cannot just sit back and allow Harry's family to soak up the good publicity. They gotta get in there too. And now, according to the Daily Mail, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have been slammed for their inappropriate timing after they spoke out about King Charles on the same day that he made the first King's speech in more than 70 years. Previously, we did report that Harry does not plan to attend his father's birthday party. Now, we didn't even talk about whether or not Harry had been invited. Of course, he was invited. It's his father. And even after all the horrible things he's done, even after the cruelty he has shown his family, his father has made it a point to always try to include him. And as for Meghan, I mean, who knows? I would say chances are good that she wasn't invited. But Harry did attend his father's coronation without Meghan, so for his birthday, for his 75th birthday, could Harry not have done the same? Well, just hours before Charles held the state opening of Parliament, Harry and Meghan claimed they had received no contact from Buckingham Palace. According to the Daily Mail, a spokesperson for the couple made the remarks after a report in the Sunday Times claiming Harry had snubbed an invitation from his father to join them at a party next week, claiming it was misreported by the paper. But really, it gets even worse than that, because a friend of Meghan and Harry's also suggested that the palace could have, quote, leaked the snubbing story to take away attention from the recent royal visit to Kenya, where the king faced calls to apologize for Britain's colonial past. Well, of course, royal experts have spoken out, and they're saying that the tour of Kenya was actually very successful, and they're calling Harry and Meghan's timing particularly inappropriate. You know, this is something that really bothers me about the gruesome twosome. The way they do things is so underhanded and so shady. They're always just pulling the pin at a grenade and then walking away. They're so focused on making themselves into victims, it's like they don't even realize they're making themselves out to look like a couple of cowards. I don't buy for 1 second that this was just coincidence. They knew what was going on with the king on that day, and so they wanted to mess him up, or at least try. I mean, it's pathetic. It was 100% intentional. Royal experts are also pushing back against this claim that Meghan and Harry were not invited. They say suggestions the party story was leaked were rubbish, and that His Majesty, quote, has always made it clear that his door is always open to Meghan and Harry should they want reconciliation. Key word there being want. At this point, I think it's become obvious to anybody who's paying attention that Meghan and Harry don't want reconciliation. I mean, if they were to reconcile with Harry's family, if they were to make peace, how would they make a living? Let's remember, that is the only way they have to make money ever since they ran away from their duties as working royals. They just trash the family and get paid very well to do so. And it's disgusting that they're continuing to make money at the expense of Harry's own family. The king did not deserve for his own son and his daughter-in-law to make those remarks just hours before he made his first address at the state opening of Parliament since he became king. It was such an important occasion. It was the first time a male monarch has done so since 1950, and Meghan and Harry couldn't even let him have that one small victory. They had to go in and try to ruin it. Royal expert Richard Fitzwilliam said, when he opened Parliament today, King Charles paid tribute to the late Queen. It was a historic occasion, the first time a king had opened Parliament since 1950. George VI was ill in 1951. That very same day, with particularly inappropriate timing, the Sussexes are back in the news. They deny a report in the Sunday Times that they turned down an invitation to the king's 75th birthday. Harry, an insider tells us, will reach out to his father privately. A source has also suggested that the report was timed to distract attention away from the recent trip by King Charles and Queen Camilla to Kenya. The king certainly performed a sensitive balancing act when visiting an important ally in Africa. The visit, however, has been regarded as a success, and this attitude shows the level of the Sussexes' sense of entitlement. It brings to mind Meghan's claim in an interview in The Cut magazine that she had been told by an unnamed member of the cast of The Lion King that there was rejoicing in South Africa when they married, similar to when Nelson Mandela was released from prison. This was obviously nonsense, but it spoke volumes that she said it. I always love hearing what Richard Fitzwilliams has to say. I mean, he hit the nail on the head with that one. Meghan Markle is delusional. She lives in a fantasy world. And that's why she says stuff like that. That seems to us so completely insane. We wonder if she can possibly believe it. But the scary thing is, she does. She really does believe in her own delusions. This also reminds me of how Meghan and Harry tried to ruin William and Catherine's trip to the Caribbean. Harry and Meghan understand that in today's world, the label racism is an incredibly dangerous one. And that's why, ever since they left the royal family, they have been trying so hard to affix this label onto Harry's family. And I still don't understand why. I mean, it seems like they're convinced that if they can make Harry's family look bad, if they can make people stop liking them, then all of a sudden they're going to be popular and everyone's going to fall in love with them. And we're all going to say, oh no, we were wrong about you. You were telling the truth the whole time. Why didn't we believe you? Meghan and Harry claim that they're so happy in America that they're living their lives now, but obviously they are still obsessed with the royal family. So Mr. Fitzwilliam added that the hard work put in by Charles and Camilla during the 4-day tour of Kenya are obviously as nothing compared to the Sussex's personal feelings. He said the rift in the royal family could not be wider, and bemused courtiers must be wondering what comes next. Let's hope that the reported 4-book deal with Random House does not lead to another memoir. Also, Netflix, when The Crown is over, may regard Harry and Meghan as expendable if they continue to produce so little. Polls in America indicate people are seeing through them. Mr. Fitzwilliams is absolutely right. People in America see right through them. Look, I know there are still a few deranged sugars out there who are never going to stop supporting Meghan and Harry, but I would not say they have a fan base in America. Most people in America are offended by their entitled attitudes and their whining. Most Americans have strong family values, so why would we want to support a couple of traitors? It's just crazy how Harry and Meghan seem to believe that fame and popularity are like a seesaw. They seem to believe the only way they can be up is if the royal family's down, but the truth of the matter is, in trying to make the royal family look bad, they only end up making themselves look a lot worse. Former royal correspondent Phil Dampierre also weighed in on this. He said that arguments over a birthday invitation were to some extent irrelevant, and that the Sussexes are in a PR war. Quote, the king has always made it clear that his door is always open to his wayward son, and I'm sure if he wanted to come over for any celebration, he would be welcomed. I'm not saying there wouldn't be a difficult atmosphere, and William and Kate might find it hard to swallow. But Charles has always made it clear that long term he wants a reconciliation to the benefit of all concerned. That's the way his mother, the late Queen, would have approached it, and he is doing the same. It's not true to say the visit by the King and Queen to Kenya didn't go well. On the contrary, it was extremely successful, and the host graciously accepted his expressions of regret for Britain's colonial past. The idea this story about the party is a distraction is just rubbish, as they would be happy to highlight the tour and indeed William's trip to Singapore for his Earthshot prize. If Harry wanted to mend bridges with his father and brother, he could have done so when he came over to Europe for the Invictus Games a few weeks ago, but he didn't make the time to see them. The ball is very much in his court, and to say otherwise is ludicrous. And you, what do you think about Meghan and Harry's attempts to steal thunder from King Charles and Prince William? Please let me know your opinion below in the comments section. If you enjoyed this video, please like and share with anybody else who would like it too. And don't be afraid to click the subscribe button to get more updates in the future. Thank you so much for tuning in, have a lovely weekend, and we'll be back to see you all tomorrow.